With daylight saving just around the corner, Dr. Gordon Harkness from Optum, Utah is here to share how we can get better sleep. Doctor, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So excited to have you here. Okay, how much sleep do we actually need?
It's interesting. It varies by person, but for most adults, they say you need at least 7 hours, if not, and some people need a little bit more. There's the occasional person who needs less, but most of us really need 7 or more hours of sleep.
I know I'm definitely one of the 7 or more people. Why is quality of sleep just as important as quantity?
Yeah, during sleep, our body's restoring itself, healing itself, processing things, and so when you have poor quality sleep, it isn't able to do that adequately. And so people, when they have poor quality of sleep, they may spend 10 hours in bed and they wake up feeling just as tired as when they went to bed, and they just are not getting the quality of sleep that they need. So, you know, if you're experiencing that, it's probably something that ought to be checked out with a professional.
Well, I need you to talk to my baby about how important it is that his mom gets sleep. So we'll talk to him later.
Yes.
You talked about this just a bit, but talk to me about more signs of poor sleep habits.
Yeah, well, with poor sleep habits, people have a hard time falling asleep at the right time. They'll have issues where they're waking up frequently during the night and not able to get back to sleep. And this can have a lot of effects health-wise for people in terms of mood disorders, depression, inability to concentrate and focus on things that they need to focus on, but it also has effects on our cardiovascular system. There's more heart attacks, more strokes with people that are not getting the type of sleep, the restorative sleep that they need.
All right, so knowing all of this, what can we do to get better sleep?
Yeah, it's important to have a good routine for your sleep cycle. We have our circadian rhythm. That's our body's way of kind of managing when we're supposed to be awake, when we're supposed to be asleep. It has a lot to do with daylight, and if you don't have a regular pattern for your sleep, your circadian rhythms get all off. I mean, think about if you've ever traveled and crossed multiple time zones.
Yes.
You can't fall asleep when you're supposed to, and you can't wake up when you're supposed to, and so it's having those good habits and patterns really can help improve sleep. We call it sleep hygiene.
Okay.
So,
well, our sleep hygiene, it's coming up. This may get thrown off. What time of year does daylight savings occur, and when do we spring forward?
Yeah, so the spring forward part's coming up this Sunday. It's usually the second, right now, the second Sunday in March, and then we fall back in the first Sunday of November. But really, the one that seems to have the most negative impacts on people is the spring forward, the one we're about to go through.
Here we go.
Yeah, and when we talk about this with people, you know, I mentioned traveling and how we notice it with multiple time zone changes. Sometimes we don't recognize it when it's just an hour. Is that a big deal? Yeah, it actually is a big deal. During that week following the change into daylight savings, there's a bump in the number of traffic accidents that happen. There's more heart attacks and strokes and arrhythmias. People end up going to the ER more often. They miss their regular appointments that they're supposed to have. So there's a lot of impact, and this affects adults. It affects kids. There was a study that was done with high school students, and during the week after the spring forward, on average, those kids got about a half an hour less of sleep per night for that first week. And it can have big impacts. We sometimes don't recognize that, and so it's important to try to prepare in any way we can for it.
So speaking of that, where can people go for more information?
Yeah, our Optum website, optum.com/Utah, has information, and there's a lot of other great resources on the internet about sleep.
Perfect, Doctor. Thank you so much for coming in today.
Thank you.